Welcome beer fans, we're here once again. You'll notice I've moved things around a bit. I fancy just recording from a different location, so it's kind of lightish, so I thought we'd get a bit of the other background going on. So this video is a bit of voyage of discovery. You're seeing it live, well maybe not live, but I'm recording it, I've not done it before, with a couple of taste tests. So we've got, and this is a little bit kind of alignment of the stars kind of thing going on. So a little while ago, 30th of April, in the good old brew sheets again, 30th of April, I made a first variant of a Grapefruit IPA. Heard a lot about it. I'm quite into the citrus thing, so I thought, right, let's give this a go. So I made myself a Grapefruit IPA, and lo and behold, about 3 weeks it's been in the bottle now. It's kind of ready to taste. Obviously I've tasted it along the way, but not since it's been in the bottle and been carved. This bottle's been chilled for about 3 odd days at about 5 degrees. And then I just so happened to be wandering through the supermarket the other day, and I happened to come across, you can see that, bottle of Elvis juice. And no, this really isn't squeezed Elvis. Again, another beer from the Brewdog phenomenon that we have here in the UK. But it's one that's done in less often. It's quite hard to get hold of. It's the first time I've ever seen it in the supermarket, if I'm honest. And this really was the only bottle there, so I grabbed it. Looks quite interesting, follows this sort of similar kind of designs and stuff with all the other Brewdog stuff. 6.5%, and it's a grapefruit IPA. I say grapefruit IPA. Interestingly, I've never seen this before. On the label it says grapefruit infused. So, interesting, infused. All the usual kind of stuff on here. Grapefruit peel, orange peel, interestingly, it's got here on the ingredients, which I wasn't aware of. So mine is pure grapefruit, but there is a little bit of a mixture in there. So there's pink grapefruit and like Florida grapefruits. I did that because the difference between the pink and the Florida, one's slightly sweeter than the other, so I've tried to kind of balance the two out while still getting the grapefruit thing in there. But interestingly, this has got orange peel in it as well. Yeah, so I thought we could do a bit of a side-by-side test. Mine is about 4.6%, not particularly strong. This is 6.5%, so that's going to be an interesting comparison as well. So I thought we could test the two together. So got the 2 old glasses. You'll notice from other videos and stuff, I don't have the 2 matching ones anymore. My dear lady, who I love very much, managed to break my other favourite beer glass, so we're on a freebie as well, so to compliment it at the moment until I get some more glasses. So without further ado, let's open up the grapefruit. Carb, not bad, not bad. Let's give it a pour. Actually, carb's a bit better than the sound kind of gave it credit, if I'm honest. And actually, that's a pretty good colour. Look at that. A bit of sediment in there, but then again, I don't have centrifuges like the Posh Boys. So yes, there you go, Grapefruit IPA. Nice kind of lights, because it's got that slight kind of orangey colour to it. Not bad. Should we open these two and put them side by side? Let's give a quick sniff. Yeah, there's definitely grapefruit there. It's not like massive, in your face kind of citrus grapefruit, but it's like a, yeah, it's like a subdued grapefruit. It's not like grapefruit juice. Got to have a taste already, haven't I? Wow, okay. So that's not as kind of kapow citrus as I was expecting, because I'm trying to think, what did I put in here? So I zested 2 whole grapefruits. I think it was 1 pink, 1 Florida, in the boil, and I dropped the zest in the boil for the last 7 minutes, along with the fruit as well that went into the boil. And then I also, when I dry hopped it, I dry hopped it with the zest from 3 grapefruits. So that was 2 from the red and 1 from the Florida. And then I also put 2 grapefruits worth of flesh in as well into the dry hop. 1 red, 1 Florida. So that would come to, I made a note here, yeah, so 90 grams I think I dry hopped it with of zest. So the and the hops that I went for with it was I bittered with Pacific Jade, then Centennial, Amarillo and Citra. Usual kind of thing, you know, middle end, loads of knock out of the flame, and then I dry hopped with Amarillo, Citra, Cascade and Centennial. What's that, 40, sort of best part is kind of 70 odd grams in a 24 litres. Yeah, what's the IBUs? So the IBUs in total weren't massive. 25, 30, kind of 36, 37. It's definitely picked up some bitterness from the grapefruit. And it tastes grapefruity, but it's not massively citrus. It's nice. It's just, it's just not quite what you'd expect. Do you know what I mean? If you'd think putting grapefruit in, something like that would just be ding, kind of grapefruit on the bell, but it's quite a nice kind of kind of subtle grapefruit with a kind of bittered out finish on it. Yeast was pretty standard American Ale 1056. You know, nothing groundbreaking there. But yeah, not too bad. I purposely tried to put a bit more body and sweeten up the grain bill in this. So this was pale malt with a Vienna Munich mix with some wheat in there as well. About a kilo between the Vienna and the Munich. Sort of 60-40 split. But yeah, not bad. That's conditioned well. It's got a good carb. Definitely drinkable. It's more bitter than I thought it would be. I guess that must be some of the grapefruit zest that's put some of that bitterness in, because it's not like a hop bitterness. Do you know what I mean? If you go heavy on the IBUs with your bittering hops, so it's not like that. It's that bitterness from the grapefruit. So maybe I picked up a bit of pith in it. Maybe, you know, all the stuff you read about if you do use citrus fruits or anything like that in any of your beers is not to get any of the white pith in there, because it does impart that bitterness. So, but interestingly also, I didn't put any juice in it, and I have read that maybe that actually has some like grapefruit juice put into it in some way, shape or form. So yeah, interesting. So let's do the comparison. Let's open up the commercial boys. So carbonation of the commercial boys. Sounds what I'm about to say. Let's give it a pour. So yeah, interesting. It's put the two next to each other. I mean, obviously you're going to expect this to be a lot clearer. You know, these guys have got, you know, their new brewery is like a £4 or £5 million brand new brewery. They're going to have centrifuges and filters like you wouldn't believe. So I'd expect it to be clearer. Carbonation between the two isn't a million miles away. Colour is actually very similar, and I didn't look at any clone recipes purposely because I wanted to just try and make my own, if you know what I mean. So yeah, very, very similar. This is maybe a little bit more golden. This is maybe a little bit more yellow. So let's give it a sniff and a taste. Now that's interesting, isn't it? That is a lot more grapefruity, citrusy than that I was kind of expecting that to be. I almost kind of think that maybe grapefruit zest that I added to that is almost kind of masking the hops that I used in total. I'm trying to think what the total weight of the hops is. Not masses, but on a probably 24 litre batch, probably like with the dry hopping 140 grams ish. So not masses, but definitely smells grapefruity. Let's give it a go. That's got a lot more hops in it. A lot more hops. It's got that slightly. I find that with a lot of the Brewdog beers that. And I'm not sure if it's just me and my palate that, because they so heavily hop everything. It kind of almost edges on that grassy. Do you know what I mean? That kind of grassiness, grassy taste and smell. Now, I haven't looked what hops are in. Do they say what hops they use? No, but those of you that are probably aware of the DIY dog stuff, then I'm sure we can find out what they are. Yeah, interesting. Still has that same kind of bitterness that I've got in there, so actually that makes me feel pretty good actually, because that does make me feel pretty good actually, because from a homebrew perspective that kind of shows to me that I haven't gone too far wrong there, and with the difference in time and kit between making that and the money that's gone into making that, I feel pretty good. Yeah, that's really interesting. It makes me wonder how much more hops I might need to put into this, into my own recipe, to really kind of bring the hop through but not mask the fruit, the grapefruit and the orange that's in there. But it's of a similar bitterness. The body's around about the same. Interestingly, this is holding its head a little bit more, and I do wonder whether the fruit content of that and being naturally carved is actually suppressing the head a little bit, although it's just as well carved. I don't know if you can see that, but there's plenty of bubbles rising through the glass, and it's really well carved. Same as that one, but this one seems to be holding its head a little bit more, so I wonder if the centrifuge that they use is helping that. But all in all, actually, I'm quite happy with that. This isn't, should I say, it's not as juicy as I thought it would be. Like you think with these guys that it's just going to be this kind of massive explosion of fruit, and you kind of hope that you'll stand back in amazement of, oh my word, it's like grapefruit juice, but it's beer. How do they do that? Actually, it's it's almost like meeting a celebrity kind of thing. Actually, they're kind of human like us. They're kind of normal, and actually, trying this, for as good as it is, don't get me wrong, and there's not that many people out there, making grapefruit IPAs. Barring the truckload of hops that's in that makes me feel pretty good. Definitely makes me think that any future incarnations of this, I think I might need to up the old dry hop content, I think, because that's the overriding factor between the two at the moment. That's what I'm feeling. Barring a bit of colour, I hazard a guess this might have a bit more, it might have a bit of crystal in it, or maybe a bit of kind of gold or caramel or something like that, maybe just to give it that extra bit of kind of goldy colour. But it's just the hops really that's kind of the overriding difference between the two. So there you go. It is possible to make a perfectly good grapefruit IPA. I'm quite pleased with that. I think this might go down as a recipe success. So, there you go, that's kind of about it really. That's all I wanted to go through with you guys was, you know, my grapefruit IPA, you know, one of the big boys now, even though actually these guys always kind of set out to be not one of the big boys, but actually they're becoming one of the big boys. Funny how it goes around, isn't it? So yeah, that's kind of it. Bit of a IPA test. Grapefruit IPA. Make one yourself. It turns out alright. So yeah, love the feedback. Post your comments down below. Subscribe. There's lots more videos coming. Hey, I've got this annoying thing called a day job that gets in the way occasionally. But keep the ideas coming. There's more stuff to follow, and I can't wait to speak to you soon. Take care, guys. See you soon. Cheers.